The Artisan Daughter and the Magic Thread is a European story. The story depicts the skills of artisans and family ties being put to the test, and in the end, their wisdom and skill solve difficulties. Once upon a time, in a small European village, lived a family of famous craftsmen. The craftsman's name was Andrea, a master weaver, and the villagers valued the cloth he made. Every day, he wove exquisite and beautiful fabrics, which were appreciated by the villagers. Andrea has an only daughter, named Elizabeth. Elizabeth also learned the art of weaving from her father and dreamed of one day becoming a first-class craftsman herself. One day, while Elizabeth was weaving in her father's workshop, a strange old lady came to her. The old lady smiled faintly and said quietly, "I am the one who stopped by this village on my journey. The fabric your father weaves is amazing. I came here once because I wanted to get that beautiful fabric." Andrea smiled and said, "Thank you. My fabric is woven over many years. If you ask for one, we will gladly give it to you," I replied. But the old lady said curiously, "What I want is not just cloth. In fact, it has something special for you too. It is called a magic thread." Andrea was surprised. Magic thread? I have never heard of such a thing. The old lady smiled slowly and took out a piece of thread from her pocket. It was a shining golden thread that had a beauty that captivated the viewer. "This thread can make your fabric even more beautiful and powerful. However, there is a test waiting for those who use this thread." Elizabeth stared at the thread and asked, "What do you mean by trials?" I asked. The old lady began to speak quietly. "If you use magic threads, the fabric will be so beautiful that no one else can make it, and it will be known to the people of the village and the whole kingdom. However, if you are overconfident in the power of the thread, you may cause the user to lose something important." Andrea had doubts about the story, but she felt a strong attraction to the thread that the old lady had. He said, "I want to take that test and try to use the magic thread." The old woman nodded quietly and said, "Then let me bestow this thread on you. But remember, don't use too much force. Calm your mind and use it carefully." Andrea then began to weave fabric using magic threads. At first, it was just a beautiful color of the fabric, and the villagers were impressed by the beauty of the fabric. As she continued to weave day by day, Andrea's cloth became more and more beautiful and had miraculous powers, and rumors spread not only in the village but also in the neighboring kingdom. One day, the king of the kingdom invited Andrea to the palace. "The fabric you weave is wonderful. Please present the cloth to me." Andrea was wary in her heart not to use too much of the power of the magic thread, but she still wove the most beautiful cloth for the king. The cloth shone with gold and was used as the most luxurious decoration in the royal palace. However, from the time the beautiful fabric was completed, something unsettling began to happen to Andrea. He continued to weave yarn all night and gradually lost his strength. He relied too much on magic threads and neglected his body. Elizabeth saw the situation and said, "Dad, don't rely too much on magic threads. The power of the thread is great, but it is important to believe in your power and take a little rest." I was worried. Andrea listened to Elizabeth's words and decided to rest for a while. After that, he presented the cloth he made with his own hands to the king, without using magic threads. It was a cloth with a heart, although not as much as one made of magic thread, and the king looked at the cloth and said, "This fabric is the true beauty." The king rewarded Andrea a lot and thanked Elizabeth. Andrea learned the importance of weaving fabric on her own, without relying on the power of magic threads. Together with Elizabeth, he continued to weave beautiful cloth for the villagers and lived happily. And Andrea decided to live as a simple and honest craftsman, never using magic threads. End.